Hello everyone, my name is Samuel Bemiga and I am the founder of Partel Music, a home of information and motivation for right learning. So here is a new project that we just started. It's about interviewing us musicians and I believe you have a lot to learn as we do this. Stay glued as you watch. Thank you. We are joined today by my very good friend, Nicholas FLECKTUNEZ Joshua. Nicholas, thank you for joining us.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me here.
All right. Undoubtedly, you are a very good bass player, and I've seen how expressive you are with the instrument, and I know it must have taken you some level of practice to arrive at this point that you are.
That's true.
So, talk to me a bit about how you kind of grew up and how you got into learning the bass in the first place.
Yeah, it all started I think 7 years back. 7 years back. I was in my, should I call it, my parents' church, where we had a number of instrumentalists and then we were lacking in a bass player. So there are times when we always go for this rehearsal and then the bass is just standing in the rehearsal, and I didn't need someone to tell me, I didn't need a prophet to tell me that this bass is calling me. I was always looking at it. Back then we had to always convey the instruments to our rehearsals venue. I will carry all of them and then I'll keep looking at this bass. Wow, this thing is actually calling me. Then a cousin brother of mine opted to teach me bass. So I started a class with him and then we did a number of classes, I think 5 or 6 classes thereabout. We did a peripheral bass class. Then that was where it stopped. So, my improving on bass, I had to do research. I learned most of my stuffs online. That was when I had to boost my knowledge in bass. While I was practicing on a daily basis, that was when my love for the instrument kept on growing.
Mm.
So that's how it all started.
Okay. How do you develop your techniques? Is it just by music transcribing, just absorbing sound, or what exactly?
Yeah, by how I developed my techniques is basically by observing sound. Um, my kind of person, I know what I like, I know what I want, I know the kind of sound I want to hear. So during my course of improving in music, there's this bass player that was very much of great inspiration to me. He inspired me beyond what I could say. And then I back then I loved listening to Victor Wooten. I love listening to him, but then I needed to sound like a bass player for my environment.
Mm.
Of course, you all know I'm a Nigerian, and then there's this bass player who I love so much. I love the way he sounds. Then he has always inspired me from. I always listen to him. I always listen to him live in experience. Listen to him in other events that he played for, and that is Tim Godfrey's previous bass player. That is Nana de Solomon. I love that guy so much. I love his sound. I love his speed. I love his techniques. I love his approach. So I actually grew up from observing his sound.
Mm.
So I listened with my idea on intervals. I always pick his notes even before playing on the bass. So observing his sound helped me so much. My ears worked towards what he played and then the speed as in with how God helped me, it was just so it was just so powerful. Like listening to that guy was so much of an inspiration to me.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. In our earlier conversation, you told me that you have few musical influence.
Yeah.
One of them being Justin Reigns.
Yes.
So how was he really able to influence you, shape your sound and your approach to music?
Yeah, I got to know Justin Reigns from an interview with Jamin, an interview that I had with Jamin. He's actually a bass player as well, the Jamin himself. So I saw Justin Reigns. He was displaying a riff that he used in this song. What's the song? My Strength by Israel Houghton.
Okay.
So I listened to that song and I loved that song. I think the guy was just so prolific on the bass. There was this riff he used there in a transition they did like da 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 da. I love that riff, and he explained that riff actually in that video. And then that was the first day I saw him. Then after then, I that guy became my. He even influenced me even more than my previous influence. I love him because there's something about me. I love the foreign sound, and I want to apply my foreign sound in my in the Nigeria setting, in the Nigerian music. So Justin Reigns influenced me so much. I love his approach towards notes. Then I listen to everything. I listen to even his live performance. I listen to his live recording session. I listen to even his rehearsals, pre record sessions. I listen to everything about him. I love the way he sounds. I love the way he takes his time to break down his licks, his gospel licks. And then, like I said before now, I love his approach towards every note. Now, what I love about that guy is just his approach. It makes me sound even more mature than I intend to be. Now, he wants to move to this note. What does he play before getting to this note? That's what I love about him. He doesn't do too much. He does what is necessary. So that's why I took him as an influence to me. I took him as a mentor. Yeah.
I know you are a huge fan of Nadi Solomon. That is Tim Godfrey,
Yeah.
former bassist.
Yes.
And you also call yourself a gospel bass player. You fondly call yourself that.
Yeah.
So what are the regimen? Just walk me through some of the regimen
Okay.
of a gospel bass player.
Yeah.
What are the characteristics of a gospel bass player?
Yeah. A gospel bass player is we do a kind of music that you have to be you have to be very prolific in your bass playing, and gospel music is actually circumferenced in spontaneous playing. So now, as a gospel bass player, there's need for you to have a wide range of music.
Yeah.
There's need for you to have your music vocabulary very big. You understand? There's need for you to have so much to offer, because most of our music is spontaneous. It's what it has to do with what you can do at that spot.
Yes.
You understand?
Yes, exactly.
So, what as a gospel bass player, there's need for you to always listen. Listen. Like I said before, now I learn very much by observing sound. So because of my idea on intervals, it helps me know what was played even without carrying my bass. Then later I rehearse, and then as a gospel bass player, there's need for you to have a very wide vocabulary in music, so that there's a way you can play 50 songs in 500 ways. Let me assume 10 ways for each song. Playing one song in 10 ways, because you have a lot of things encapsulated in your vocabulary. Do you understand me? So as a gospel bass player, that's what you need. And then I like to buttress on the point that of improving even as a gospel bass player.
Okay.
Because I know surely that question is going to come. Improving even as a gospel bass player. Now, I read an article a post by Scott Devine. I think he's a very popular bass coach. Now, he said there's no two ways of becoming a best bass player, a better bass player. Sorry, pardon my words. There's no two ways of becoming a better bass player. The only formula, or the only way of becoming a better bass player is keep rehearsing, meet someone better than you. Keep rehearsing, meet someone better than you. These people that you meet along the line while you are rehearsing, they tend to inspire you. And those people you meet could be your mentor. Now they leave a deposit of what they know in you, and then you rehearse it. In the course of your rehearsal, that's when you get to discover that you start creating your own stuffs. Start building your own sound.
Sure.
Now I understand having a mentor is very good, but being yourself is another part of it.
Yes. All right. I know you have worked with various artists and
Yes.
musicians.
Yeah.
Presently, I know you are still working with a few of them now.
Yes.
So, how has working with the likes of the music, Samsung,
Yeah.
Joe Praise, Booker, and all these various artists impacted your musical experience?
there's something about music that I know very well. I know too well. Exposure is key.
Yeah.
Exposure is key. Now, before now, I talked about meeting someone better than you. There are times when you go out there, you meet someone you're better than. Most times you go out there, you meet someone better than you. Even someone that you're better than has something you don't have.
Sure. Sure.
So I always keep a listening ear. Now, working with the likes of Bukada Music and the rest that you've mentioned has helped me so much because even as a bass player, I am still a music arranger. It gives me the chance to express what is inside of me outside my guitar.
Wow.
And it gives me that feel, it gives me that leverage to be able to tell my colleagues, okay, let's do this way. I think it will sound very well. And there's no joy like hearing an idea that comes from you in the music. Now, Booker is a great influence to me. He gave me that privilege. That music, he's my boss, gave me that privilege. And then they always want to see the best in me. Some of these people, they are even beyond being a boss. They came close to me as being a friend. They encourage me. Now, those yardsticks that they give to me, those opportunities that they give to me to be able to air out my view in particular songs, I don't take it lightly because it's more like an encouragement. It's more like should I say, an inspirational boost. Yeah, that's how I see it. It has helped me so much because with them I have gained experiences. I've traveled far and wide. I've been to almost everywhere in the country. At least I've traveled very far. I've traveled very wide. I've had good rehearsal session. I have times where I've smiled with my bosses. I have times when they've corrected me. And those are the moments that I need. Those are the moments that I need. That's how it has helped me.
All right. My final question.
All right, sir.
You sound really great,
Yeah.
and I know you may still have a lot of things coming up.
Yes.
So, what should people expect from you? What should people look out for?
What people should look out for is the me you have now.
Yeah.
It's not even compared to the me you will have in the next 2 seconds. I can put that to you straight because I wasn't the way I started. And the truth about me is I will never be stagnant. I am working earnestly. And I'm using the formula I gave you earlier. It works for me so much. I'm working earnestly. And see, my range of improvement it's beyond the speed of light. Each second I think about music. And I know my seconds are yet undone, so I'm still thinking about music.
All right. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.